Hello, this is Rock Paper Shotgun, and you are watching Jurassic World Evolution from Frontier Developments. More specifically, you are watching Jurassic World Evolution going horribly wrong. A Ceratosaurus is currently on the loose, turning my prehistoric zoo into an all-you-can-eat dino buffet. I want to talk about 7 features I love in Jurassic World Evolution, and this rampage is the perfect place to start, because as much as Evolution is about building your dream dinosaur theme park, it's also about what happens when it goes wrong. Dinosaurs can escape for all kinds of reasons. Fences break from wear and tear, or you might upset these big divas with poor living conditions. Your park can even be sabotaged by business rivals. Fail to build a nasty dinosaur, for example, and the military investors in your park might sabotage your power stations. Did these fools learn nothing from Dennis Nedry? Confession time. In this particular scene, the dinosaur did not escape by accident. I put her to sleep with tranquilizers, and then airlifted her into the middle of the shopping district. Am I proud? No. But this is what they invented the quick save for. The rampaging beast also lets me show off another great idea, which is taking direct control of park rangers to deal with problems. In this case, I can hop into a helicopter and try to tranquilize the threat. I think this last doozy of a shot deserves a slow motion action replay. As much as I enjoy watching my handiwork from a god throne in the sky, it's more fun to see it from the perspective of a vulnerable meat creature. The staff can be set to automatically go about their business, such as medicating a poorly Triceratops here. Luckily, they don't have to stick their arms in a humongous dino turd as in the film. But it's quicker and more involving to drive the car and dispense the medicine yourself. You can even refill their food while you're at it. While you can invest money in research to make the AI better at these jobs, it's always quicker to do it for yourself. You can also get work as an amateur photographer. In the early stages of the game, this is used by the PR team to drum up interest in the park. Of course, the people of the 21st century have the attention spans of a gnat, and quickly get bored of actual living dinosaurs. To keep the Instagram likes rolling in, you need to snap action shots or mix breeds together. But remember, while a dino fight is good for the front cover of National Geographic, it might not be good for a dinosaur's health. Hooning around the park is fun in itself. During my trip to Frontier, they tell me about testers building racetracks, or another member of staff who uses terrain options to build ramps so he can jump the security fences instead of waiting for doors to creak open. This is the closest you'll get to starring in your own Jurassic Park film, whether you're driving under a towering Brachiosaurus or just feeling the first drops of rain of a tropical storm rolling in. And when the dino poop does hit the fan, well, you're in the best position to run away too. If you want to see dino violence without the threat of a lawsuit, you'll be looking for dinosaur fights. The first rule of Dino Fight Club is tell everyone about Dino Fight Club, because it looks great. Fights occur naturally when dino bullies meet dino wimps, though you can force a conflict by penning certain breeds together. As damaging as it can be for your park's finances, the game understands that this is what the people are paying to see. It even flashes up a special notice to whisk you straight to a scrap. Watching these unlikely matchups is like seeing a pack of top trump cards come to life. As you zoom in, you can see the animation department's work in all its glory. They obviously turned to the film for inspiration for some moves, but most they had to imagine for themselves. Obviously, when you're paying close to $1 million to hatch a dino, it's not ideal if it gets decked on its first day in the playground. But there are benefits to this. You see, when one dino kills another, it improves its rating, which is kind of its general all-round impressiveness. A higher rated dinosaur draws more punters to the park and more money to your wallet. In theory, you could deliberately game it by breeding weak herbivores to feed to your star carnivore, though this would be stupidly expensive. And such schemes don't always go to plan, such as the time I built a T-Rex, the so-called king of the dinosaurs, and he was instantly murdered by a Ceratosaurus. Imagine how disappointed you'd be seeing that as a punter. That's like going to Disneyland and seeing Mickey Mouse get murdered by whatever this thing is. I think the thing Frontier have really captured well is the sense that you are dealing with very dangerous attractions. Take the simple logistics of moving the creatures around the park. You can't give them instructions, and they won't wait for you to make your mind up. When I hatched my first carnivore, I hadn't accounted for the fact that she shared a paddock with all my dopey herbivores. Surprise, surprise, she ate them and destroyed my park's finances. Next time around, I was ready. The dinos hatch from this creation centre, so I built a small holding area around the exit to prevent further feasting. I then sent in the helicopters to put the penned-in monster to sleep, and then ordered helicopters to pick up and transport it to the new area I'd fenced off. It reminds me of that opening scene in Jurassic Park, where they nervously move the Velociraptors into their new home. There's a real tangible sense that these are creatures you shouldn't mess with. Well, until you get bored and unleash them on the park on purpose. I will never get bored of that clip. My main complaint with the film Jurassic World is the way it neutered the Velociraptors. Raptors were the nightmare fuel of my childhood. That bit with Samuel L. Jackson's disembodied arm made me scared of arms to this very day. But in Jurassic World, the Velociraptor was turned into Chris Pratt's pet dog. One of the best developments in Jurassic World Evolution is seeing these horrible creatures get their bite back. When a raptor goes AWOL, they do it in style, sprinting out of the shadows and pouncing on screaming guests. I love the way everyone legs it when a raptor gets out. Well, apart from these guys, they've been queuing for so long for the gift shop, there's no chance in hell they're giving up their place in the line. Raptors are a huge dilemma in the game, as they should be. They pull in big crowds, but are notoriously difficult to keep happy. They don't play nice with other dinosaurs, they barely play nice with each other. Keeping them happy is a full-time job, and so you can expect them to be eyeing up the fences. And if they do get out, their speed and small size makes them hard to shoot with a tranq dart. The film may treat these girls like lovable pets, but in Jurassic World Evolution, they are anything but man's best friend. And that's just your regular raptor. When you hatch a new breed, you can meddle with its genome. As in the films, you build new life from incomplete DNA. You could focus your work on improving genetic purity by sending out expeditions to global dig sites, finding new remains, and extracting fresh DNA. This pleases the science wing of the company, but is a bit tame for investors looking for pure entertainment or military application. For those departments, you need to spice up the genome with animal DNA. What you choose to pump into them has a huge range of results, from creating more aggressive dinosaurs to breeds that live longer or stay happier in poorer conditions. It gives you incredibly granular control over the eggs you hatch, letting you breed a herd of long-life cash cows or bet big on one nasty horror that you'll struggle to contain. Of course, the more you meddle with the genome, the lower its viability is. Eggs can fail to hatch, wasting a large chunk of money in the process. Researching upgrades improves the odds, however, and gives the game a great evolutionary curve. The longer you play, the weirder things you can build, meaning the challenges you face are constantly changing. The park you'll manage after 30 hours has a totally different genetic makeup to the harmless petting zoo you cooked up at the start. It should give the sandbox mode real legs. Perhaps the game's best trick is that despite having this big, flashy subject matter, it still has the business brain you would expect from a Frontier game. Altering the profit margins on fast food shop or hiring staff may not sound as exciting as mixing T-Rex DNA with a shark, but it gives the game the depth it needs to keep you playing beyond those initial dinosaur reveals. At first, my park was a total bust. A handful of herbivores that was so boring I found more people going to visit this power station. This was not what John Hammond had in mind. But once I started building viewing platforms and placing live goats in front of them, people would swarm to watch the horrors unfold. I then had a range of well-placed gift shops to help them recover. There's something deliciously cynical about creating an impossible creature and then using it to sell t-shirts. But there's no shame in pulling that plan off efficiently. If I have one complaint, it's that it's not always obvious what is preventing you from building in certain locations. I spent more time draining lakes and flattening land than I'd hoped, and that's time I could be using to splice together a brachiosaurus and a jellyfish or whatever. A minor quibble with an otherwise satisfying set of tools. Of course, I've only just scraped the surface of Jurassic World Evolution. In my 3 hours of play, I built a basic park and made it to the second of 5 islands. I hope you have enjoyed this quick tour of the opening hours. I assure you, no expense was spared in the making of this video, and if you have any questions about the game, pop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. I'd love it if you gave the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Like John Hammond, Rock Paper Shotgun just wants an audience to entertain. We hope to see you again soon. Goodbye!